Okay, here we are. We have signed into TinkerCAD. Remember, the thing you want to do is click on Learn. Then we are clicking on Lessons. Then you click See All Lessons. The lesson we're working on today is called the Basic Buttons lesson. It is right here. If you hover over Basic Buttons, it'll turn a dark yellowish color. Just go over and press Start. Here we are. This is the first step. It says, in this lesson, you will learn to make a basic button with the cylinder shapes. Step 1, number 1 says, drag a cylinder to the work plane. Over here is the cylinder. You're going to left click on your mouse, or if you're using a touchpad, you're going to touch on the left side of the touchpad or the mouse, click it and drag it over to the work plane. There you go. I have my cylinder on the work plane. Then down here, I click Next. I zoomed in, scale it. Step 2, number 1, scale it down to a height of 2 millimeters. Remember, this handle here, or the white box, is what controls the height. I click on it, hover over it, it'll turn red, click on it. In the dialog box where it says 20, click in there and press 2. Then enter. That's what we have so far. Then I'm going to click Next. It says scale it smaller to a diameter of 16 millimeters. This will be the main shape of the button. So we're going to click on our shape. On the handles in the corner, either one of these for the diameter, and I'm changing it to 16. If you notice that my shape is not in the orange guidelines, so I'm going to click on it. And then with the arrow keys on your keyboard, I'm going to nudge it over. There I go. I'm going to zoom out. So step 4, number 1 says, now we can create the holes that will allow the button to be sewn to a shirt. Drag a cylinder shape to the work plane. So over here, we go get another cylinder, drag it to the work plane. Click Next. Scale it smaller to a diameter of 3 millimeters. So these white handles in the corner, notice that it gives you, click on that. And the diameter is 3 millimeters, so 3, enter, 3, enter. Now, make this cylinder a hole. This is called the inspector window. If you don't see this, then you might have to click this drop down arrow here. Notice here is where it says a hole. I have my object selected that I want to make a hole. Now I just click here. Notice it turns it. It turned my cylinder here from a solid to a hole. Step 5, number 4 says, don't forget, you can adjust the snap grid from 1.0 millimeters to 0.5. Here's here's the snap grid. It's currently set at 1.0. So I'm going to click this up arrow and change it to 0.5. I'm on step 6. Let me go back. Forgot to do a step. Now I have to drag it. I like to zoom in. You can either drag it by left clicking on your mouse, or you can use your arrow keys. I'm currently using my arrow keys to do this, to place it into the orange guideline area. Looks good so far. Now I'm going to click next. I'm going to click on this shape. My inspector window is up. If it's not, just click this drop down arrow and you will see the inspector window. With my shape selected, I'm going to copy and paste. Control C, Control V. Copy and paste. The shortcut is Control C, then Control V. Then I'm going to nudge this over with my arrow keys. There we go. I'll click next. Now select all the shapes and group them into a single object by clicking the group button. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to click over here, left click and drag. You will see an imaginary box which is outlined in red. Let me do that one more time. I left click and dragged over everything, and everything got selected. Then the group button right here is the group it button. When you click on that, it's going to group everything together. Alright, then I'm going to click next. There I have my button. Now your last thing you need to do is come over here. Come over here, click the drop down arrow next to basic shapes. Click on text and numbers and drag your name to the work plane. Now if you want to change the colors of your letters, you could just click on a letter, go back to the inspector window, see where it says solid, click there. It's a bunch of different colors you could choose from. And don't forget to take your screenshot of your design and attach it to the assignment. That is the end of the lesson for Basic Button.